The world knows Keanu Reeves as the serene force who calmly navigates blockbuster franchises and cult fame alike. Yet that very tranquility became a magnet for tension in an industry often fueled by ego and volatility. For decades, Reeves maintained a dignified silence about the conflicts simmering beneath Hollywood's polished surface. Now, the veil lifts on the six major stars with whom he has drawn a permanent, unyielding line, not out of petty rivalry, but from a profound breach of his core principles: respect, safety, and professional integrity. At the forefront stands Alec Baldwin, a figure whose path diverged from Reeves's not through competitive jealousy, but through a fundamental clash of conduct. Their early careers ascended in parallel during the late 1990s, but where Reeves cultivated a reputation for quiet deference and collaborative spirit, Baldwin's combustible temper was already industry lore. The fracture point arrived not on a film set, but in a private industry forum in 2003. During a roundtable discussion, a mild critique from a director triggered Baldwin. His reaction was swift and scorching, a tirade questioning the professional worth of others in the room. When his gaze finally settled on Reeves, the silent confrontation said everything. That moment, a public display of contempt, etched itself into Reeves's memory. He later distilled his philosophy in a rare interview, stating simply, "Once someone shows you contempt, you don't forget it." For Reeves, this wasn't about a wounded ego, it was a violation of the respectful discourse he considers non-negotiable. As Baldwin's career became increasingly punctuated by public outbursts and legal entanglements, culminating in the tragic events on the set of Rust, Reeves saw a confirmed pattern. A producer once recalled Reeves's private observation: "Chaos isn't talent. Chaos destroys talent." This conviction led to a steadfast, 15-year policy of absolute avoidance: no shared projects, no greetings at galas, just a vast and silent distance. The case of Shia LaBeouf represents a different offense, the substitution of professional dedication with disruptive spectacle. Their initial encounter during a studio workshop revealed the chasm. LaBeouf, already known for unpredictable antics, dismissed seasoned actors as too stiff, seeking laughs through disrespect. Reeves's response was not anger, but a quiet, profound disappointment. He perceived in LaBeouf a fundamental confusion, later noted by an observer as Reeves's belief that the younger actor confuses disruption with depth. The final severance came at a charity event in 2008. LaBeouf, visibly intoxicated, embarked on a rant that culminated in a personal jab, labeling Reeves a boring Zen robot. The room's nervous laughter was cut by Reeves's calm, direct retort: "Cruelty isn't honesty. It's insecurity." He then departed, effectively ending any professional or personal connection. In the years that followed, LaBeouf's string of public meltdowns and legal issues only reinforced Reeves's judgment. When a studio proposed pairing them in 2014, Reeves's refusal was immediate and succinct: not a healthy environment. To him, LaBeouf's behavior was not rebellious artistry but a refusal to uphold the discipline upon which filmmaking relies. Then there's Jared Leto, the actor whose extreme commitment to method acting collided with Reeves's ethos of collective trust. The tension began not with a direct confrontation, but with unsettling whispers from crew members about Leto's on-set behavior, psychological pranks, unpredictable rewrites, and a general atmosphere of manufactured intensity. Reeves, who views the set as a space for shared creation, saw this not as dedication but as a form of disrespect that endangered the project's morale. He drew a clear boundary, privately stating, "You can't harm people in the name of art." The definitive moment came during a casting discussion for a psychological thriller. When Leto's name was suggested as a co-star, Reeves's response was a sharp, unambiguous dismissal: "Chaos isn't a technique. It's a warning sign." The message was received. As Leto continued to cultivate a reputation for disturbing, self-injurious commitment, Reeves's representatives quietly declined every subsequent overlapping offer. Their mutual avoidance at public events is now a settled fact, a testament to Reeves's rejection of what he sees as pain masquerading as creativity. Val Kilmer presented a challenge of a different nature, the collision of unbridled ego with Reeves's instinctive humility. In the early 1990s, as both were rising stars, Kilmer's reputation for arrogance preceded him. The breaking point was not a secret, but a brazen display. At a studio dinner in 1995, Kilmer berated a young cinematographer over lighting, then turned his ire on Reeves when he attempted to defuse the situation, sneering, "Don't play wise monk with me." Reeves's reply was typically low in volume but high in principle. You don't belittle people. You depend on them. That exchange crystallized Kilmer's character for Reeves, a talent undermined by a lack of respect for the collaborative ensemble. When a potential joint project emerged nearly a decade later, Reeves's refusal was automatic. The two now moved through the same circles as polite ghosts, their past interaction a fossilized lesson in incompatible professional philosophies. The final, and perhaps most principled, rift involves an actor whose identity remains guarded by industry insiders, but whose transgression was crystal clear. A blatant disregard for the safety and dignity of the crew. The incident occurred during stunt rehearsals for a prospective film in the early 2000s. The actor, ignoring explicit safety protocols, initiated a complex sequence prematurely, nearly causing a serious injury. Reeves intervened, stating firmly, "People aren't props. Respect the team." The actor's dismissive smirk in response was all the answer Reeves needed. This breach of the sacred trust between cast and crew was unforgivable. Years later, in a casting meeting, when the same actor's name was floated, Reeves delivered his ultimatum: "If he's on the call sheet, I'm out." The silence that followed was agreement. This feud, perhaps more than any other, underscores Reeves's code. It isn't about personal slights, it's about protecting the invisible backbone of filmmaking, the technicians, coordinators, and assistants whose work is too often taken for granted. By 2018, studios had internalized this boundary, ceasing all attempts to bridge the divide. Through these conflicts, a consistent portrait of Keanu Reeves emerges. His quiet demeanor is not passivity, but a formidable fortress of principle. He has meticulously curated his professional environment, separating himself from those who equate volatility with passion, disrespect with honesty, or ego with artistry. In a town often swayed by noise and notoriety, Reeves has chosen a different power, the power of silent, unwavering exclusion. He does not engage in public feuds, he simply steps away, preserving his peace and the integrity of his craft. His career map is defined as much by the projects and people he has embraced as by the ones he has deliberately and permanently left behind.